This is June with New Orleans Potions, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make two polishes with two different gel bases that I use. This is a hard gel from IBD, and I'm going to show you how to make a simple gel polish base with that. And then this one is only in this container, so it's easier for me to dispense, and I get this from GRI, and I'll leave the website in the comments. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is, I've already decided what my recipe is. So I always write my recipes down. So the first thing I want to do is I want to use 1 pinch of, let's see, 1 pinch of the base. And what this is TKB's matte texture base. And I get this from tkbtrading.com. And I use this as my base when I'm creating polishes and gel polishes. It gives like an opaque base so you can add color to it. And if you don't add something like this, then it's going to be see-through. So I'm going to put 1 pinch. And they have pre-dispersed colors that you can use, but I prefer to use the pigments and mica powders, and that's just how I do it. Okay, so this is going to start the base. And so the next thing I want to put in here is color. So I'm going to put 2 pinches of, this is a Lake Dye Red 7. That's 1 and 2. And this one I want to put just a little bit of sparkle, because this is one of the colors I'm going to be using for the holidays. So we're going to put 1 smidgen of Red Planet. And if you make it in these are little medicine cups. If you make it in these little medicine cups, I'll show you, this is the Red Planet. You can, if you don't like the color, you can tweak it from here. Okay, so I'm going to use just a little bit of 91% alcohol. I just put it in this little container, and I'm just going to wet it. So I put just enough in, and I think I'm going to need a little bit more. So I'm going to wet it a little more. And that's pretty much, that's going to be your color. So if I wanted to make this darker or change it or tweak it at this point, I can. So I'm just going to stir it a little bit better, so you can see what the color is going to look like. Okay. And now I'm going to put the gel in. And like I said, the IBD gel is much thicker, and it sticks to everything. So let's see. So we're going to squeeze some of that in. And it doesn't look like it wants to come through there, so we're going to do it this way. But you can see how thick this is. That's why I had it laying on its side, so it would be easier for me to get it out. And I'm going to put just a smidge more. And this is going to make the gel polish. And this will cure in a UV light, just like you would do a UV color gel polish, or in an LED, the same way. So now I'm going to kind of mix this a little bit, and I'm going to add a little more 91% alcohol to it. See how thick it is? So what you want to do now is thin it down to the right consistency for a gel polish. This one's a little harder, but not really. When you first start, it's just an easier, inexpensive way to get started. But this works just like a regular gel polish. So that's stirred, but I think I want to make it just a smidge thinner. Okay, I don't know, it looks pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna make it any thinner than that. Okay, so what you would do with this, once you're finished, I got these black gel polish bottles from Amazon, and I really like them because the brush is very nice as well. And you can see the beads in here. I've already put the beads inside. So since it's in this little medicine cup, it's gonna be easy for me to just pour it in there. All of this is fairly messy, but it works. And if I don't feel like it filled it up enough, if it's a really good color that people are using, the next time I'll make a little bit larger batch. But when I first get started, sometimes I'll fill half the bottle or I will fill all of it. So I'm going to use a little spatula and get the rest out. Okay. For time purposes, I'm going to leave that to the side. Let's put this up here and get a paper towel. We're going to use tons of paper towels and 91% alcohol. Okay, so now that that's in there, all we're going to do now is just push the top in. And since there are beads in there, and usually when I make these, I'll put about 4 beads just to make sure it's easier to stir. Let's see, we will paint this. But you can see how well it does. I'm looking for something to paint it on. Guess we'll paint it on my nail. I just want you to see how well it strokes down the nail and see the color of it. So, oops. So you can see it polishes on just like regular gel polish, except for this is a mess. I'll put that back in there. Clean up around the cuticle, and just so you can see the color. So that's the color. It's really pretty, and this is going to be nice for Christmas. Okay, I'm going to wipe that off rather than cure it. I already stuck my arm in the red. Okay, so what we're going to do to make the matching polish is very similar. I'm going to use one of the medicine cups and put this aside. And I'm going to put the same ingredients in. So we're going to put, let's see, we put 1 pinch of the base. And this base, it works perfect. It blends well, and it gives a really nice texture to the gel polishes and the nail polishes. We're going to do 2 pinches of red. That's 2 pinches of red. That was the Red Lake dye. And then we're going to do 1 smidge of Red Planet. And this is a glitter, and I get this from TKB Trading. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use a little bit of 91% alcohol, just to, excuse me, just to dissolve it first. I'm going to wipe this so I can reuse it. Okay. Use a little bit of alcohol. Okay. I'm going to stir this. Let me move that aside. But you see it dissolves really quickly. When you use the 91% alcohol, what it does is it makes the color bloom. So when you go to mix it, the color is already dissolved. Okay. Now I'm going to put, this is a base for polish, and this is from TKB Trading as well, and this is for color. So I'm going to go ahead and put some in here. And I'm going to stir this. And that's really it. That's the polish. Okay, and as soon as I get that done, I am just going to pour it into the bottle. Your gel polish is ready to use, and your nail polish is ready to use. And I could have made a little bit more and measured it better, but it really is not going to make a whole lot of difference. it still comes out perfect. Okay, we're gonna, and these brushes I find for nail polish, you gotta spread the bristles. So we're gonna put that in, and we're gonna tighten this down on it. And we're just gonna shake it up a little bit more. Those two are done. I still have red around my finger. Try and clean that. You can wear gloves. I just choose not to when I make the videos. When I'm retailing, I do. Okay, this is shook up, so we're gonna paint just one nice coat on my finger so you can just see how it looks. Because you're gonna put 2 coats of this, so it comes out beautiful. It's a nice red. And it has just a teeny itty bit of sparkle in it. Okay, now that's the one that I started with, and it works beautifully. And I'm gonna show you how to do a different one where you don't have to add that much alcohol to the base. So I'm going to make one that I call North Pole. I clean this real quickly. Once you start doing this, and I'll be adding more recipes, this will save you a ton of money and time in your salon, because I make all my own products and use them in the salon. Okay, now this one we'll make with the pre-made base, and you do not have to add alcohol to this, but you will add some, and that's just to wet the color. Okay, move that out the way. Okay, so this is going to be North Pole. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to add extra because I'm wanting this one to be white. So I'm going to put a larger amount of base in it. So I want my dash spoon. You can get these spoons from TKB. They're 5 measuring spoons. A drop, a smidge, a pinch, a dash, and a tab. Oops. Let's just get another one. Okay, that's one, and then I want to put a pinch. So what I'm trying to do with this one is make it a little more opaque. And while we're doing that, we're going to make for the polish as well. All right, so we're going to put a pinch and a dash. This is my pinch, and this is my dash. So we'll make these at the same time. Okay, that's your base. And so the next thing I want to put is a dash of satin pearl. And this is also, I get this from tkbtrading.com. So we're going to put a dash. So I always like to make the gel polish and polish together. So for my clients, if they don't want to use gel polish on their toes, and they just want to do it on their hands, they have the matching color. So I'm going to put one dash of the satin white in each cup. And a lot of these things you'll see they're compact, so you really have to make sure that it comes out of the spoon. All right, and then I want to add a little bit of a opalescent to it. So I'm going to put one smidgen of Lavender Luxe. And I get this from almost everything you see I get either from tkbtrading.com or I will get it from Amazon. So we're going to do a smidge of this. So you can see I'm adding the same ingredients in both, so it's going to be exactly the same color. Okay. So all I need to do is, we'll make the gel polish first. So I'm going to wet this one. And let's see if we can stir it. And if it's okay if it's just like a little paste, as long as it's all wet. Okay, this will be the polish. All right, and we will add the polish base. I might try and squeeze a little bit more in here to fill it. Now you can take it, I have some other measuring cups that actually have measurements on the side, and you can use that so you don't have any waste, and then you get the same amount every time, and you will fill the bottom. This is a 10 mil bottle, and so is my polish. I mean my gel. I don't like to make more than 10 mils. just because I use it, and the ones I don't use, I don't like to waste. So if I make a color and nobody likes it, it just, it's really no bad color, but if it's not a well-used color, I don't remake it. Okay, so we are going to put the, fan the brush out. Okay, and we're gonna pour this in. And hopefully this is opaque enough that I get the white opal look that I want. And I'm going to paint it on my finger and see, because if it's not what I'm going for, I will actually add some more color at this point. Okay, so we're going to put this in and see how it came out. Let's see if I can clean my finger that I'm using for a tester here. You're still going to see red. Red is the hardest thing to get off. And actually some of the, my polish remover really needed to be acetone, straight acetone, but it's not. It's a combination. Okay, so that's going to be the white. So let's see how it polishes. Perfect. So if I do 2 coats of this, I'm going to get a nice white color. I'm putting too much. Okay, so if I put 2 coats of this, I'm going to get a nice white color. So let's make the gel and see what the difference is, or if there is one. I just want it to be opaque enough that you don't see through it. Okay, so let's do the 91% alcohol again and just wet this. Need to add a little bit more because it's not pasty enough. Okay, I think that's good. Now we're going to add the gel to it. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. So this is the pre-made gel base. I do not have to add alcohol to this. The reason I like to make these is I figured out how to do this without using pre-dispersed colors. And this saves me a ton of money. The most expensive thing are usually your containers. And then I can tweak these. I can make this, put more opal in it if I want. I usually have my clients send me a color or something, and a lot of times it takes me a little time, but I can copy it. And if it's not exact, it's close. Or I'll make something for them and name it after them. So when they come, it's their color. Okay, so we're gonna pour that one in here. The only thing with the dark bottles is you can't see how full it gets. That's why it's better to have the little measure cups with the, so you can measure out exactly how much is gonna fit in here. So I'm going to try to see when it gets close to the top. So I'm gonna peek, and it's close. I've been doing this a long time, so a lot of times I can eyeball stuff and tell. Okay, I'm going to wipe that off. And we're gonna put the top in this one. And we're gonna shake it a little bit, and it's ready to go. So hopefully this is opaque enough for what I wanna do. If not, you can always put a little more in. So let's see. So what I would do is the next time I make the color, I will add more base to it. Okay, and you can see the polish and the gel polish are exactly the same. So if I were to put 2 coats of this, I'm gonna get a nice white. If I quit stroking it, but anyway, that's how it looks. Okay, this is June with New Orleans Potions, and this was red I called Nantucket, and this is the white I called North Pole. Okay, thank you.